The suspect in the Madeleine McCann case, a convicted sex offender known as Christian B, is about to be released without charge.
If she wasn't sold or taken away, I think this is the only place it could be. The reality
what could be?
Madeleine could be.
I'm here in Portugal, where I've been investigating a very different theory involving a female suspect, a theory police were pursuing just before they began to focus on Christian B. We found what we were looking for. We found a lovely guy. He gave us her phone number. Hello, this is Martin Brunt from Sky News. I've checked in. I'm about to get on board my flight to Portugal. I'm going with my team to explore a different theory that might explain why Madeleine McCann vanished. There's a woman who was once a suspect, a German woman, who I'm told still goes on holiday to Praia da Luz. I'm hoping to find people who know her. I might even find her. Madeleine McCann was in Praia da Luz in Portugal during a family holiday. When she went missing, she was nearly 4. The young girl was asleep in a rented apartment at the Ocean Club. She was in a room with her younger twin siblings, and the patio door was left unlocked. Their parents were dining with friends on the complex 60 yards away. When her mother Kate came back to check on the children, as her parents did every 30 minutes or so, she found Madeleine's bed empty. I met Serafina, a local resident who remembers seeing Madeleine and her family before she went missing.
It still affects people. This was always a safe place. After so many years, it would be good if they solved the case.
Many leads were followed after Madeleine vanished 18 years ago. In 2018, I was told of a new theory being investigated by Portuguese and British police. We didn't run the story at the time, as another suspect, Christian B, came under the spotlight. But police had been looking into a theory of a hit-and-run accident involving a driver, a German woman, who may have been drinking. She allegedly drove off with Madeleine's body. The theory was this, that Madeleine woke up in the family's holiday apartment and managed to open the patio door. Then she wandered out in the dark, stepped into the street, and a passing car hit her and killed her. The night before her disappearance, her parents said Maddie had woken up crying, and the next day she had asked where they had been. Part of the theory is that she might have gone looking for them. Another piece of the puzzle against the female suspect was a conversation overheard at an apartment nearby. A man with an English accent, her boyfriend it was thought, asked her, "Why did you bring her here?" The woman suspect went back to live in Germany. Her boyfriend returned to England and he later died. We contacted his family, who said they were visited by the Madeleine squad at Scotland Yard. With the help of our Portuguese translator Marta, we were able to talk to one of the German woman's old neighbours. So the first door we've knocked on, we seem to have had some big luck. What did the woman tell us?
She told me that her ex-husband is really a very good friend of this woman.
So now we have to go to a pub, a bar, 2 miles away? We may have cracked it already. Because we can't identify the female suspect for legal reasons, we couldn't film the specific locations, but we got to a bar just outside Praia da Luz and looked for this man. We went in and immediately we found what we were looking for. We found a lovely guy at the bar whose daughter runs the bar, and they knew the woman we're trying to contact very well and gave us her phone number. So the next thing we need to do is to contact the woman and see what she has to tell us. Let's hope she'll talk to us. Hello, this is Martin Brunt from Sky News. We were not allowed to record the phone call, but it lasted around 10 minutes. The German woman's been living back in Germany for many years, but I spoke to her by phone and she told me some very interesting things. Firstly, she said she knew nothing about a car accident or any theory of a hit and run that killed Madeleine. She said that at the time Madeleine was discovered missing, which was about 10 p.m, she was actually working in a restaurant. It was about 500 yards from the McCann apartment. It was a restaurant down by the beach. She said that she got home around 10:30 and her English boyfriend was already back at their apartment. He, she said, was actually a chef at the McCann's holiday complex, and in fact he'd been serving the family and their friends dinner over the preceding nights. Some days later, she said, police actually searched her apartment when they were looking for any sign of Madeleine. They even emptied my freezer. I got really angry. I said to the policeman, "You think I've cut her up into little pieces?" She then went on to talk about the contact that she'd had with police some years later. She told me that German police called her several times over more than a year. They did want to know about the current suspect, Christian B. Did she know him? Had she particularly ever seen him around the McCann's holiday complex? The officer even asked her for her SIM card from the Portuguese phone that she'd been using while she was living in Portugal. Then she said, "Do you think I ran her over? I didn't even have a car at that time." And it wasn't long after that she got increasingly angry at my questions, and eventually she put down the phone, and I suppose I wasn't really surprised at that. A Portuguese newspaper report alleged the woman may have borrowed a car. However, Madeleine's mother Kate has long dismissed the whole idea of her daughter managing to get out of the apartment alone. She doesn't accept that Madeleine could have opened the unlocked but closed patio door, a child gate and the small garden gate there at the time, and carefully close all three behind her, as she wrote in her book. What 3-year-old do you know who would do that? 3 months ago, a Portuguese newspaper ran the story of the hit and run theory without naming the couple. The headline said German authorities refused to investigate it. It suggested the theory was abandoned because Christian B had by then emerged as a better suspect. But why was Christian B considered a better suspect? We're following Ken. We're going 2 or 3 miles outside of Praia da Luz. He thinks where he's taking us now is a possible burial site for the body of Madeleine McCann. Hi, Ken.
Hi, Mark.
Ken lives in Portugal and knew the latest suspect in the case of Madeleine McCann. Christian B, as he's known under privacy laws, is a convicted sex offender who was sent to prison twice for abusing children. He's almost at the end of a 7-year sentence in a German prison for raping a 72-year-old woman in Praia da Luz. At the time of Madeleine's disappearance, police said his phone located him in the area. He received a 30-minute call an hour before the McCanns said she went missing. He's admitted he's made mistakes in his life, but he insists he had nothing to do with her disappearance. Ken claims a friend of Christian B, who owned a plot of land, might have helped him dispose of the body. The last time we met, you told me about a plot involving your friend and Christian B to steal a child.
That's correct.
And sell a child. And this was a week or so before Madeleine vanished.
That's correct, yes.
Now, you have a theory about this plot of land.
If she wasn't sold or taken away under the disguise of his associate's daughter's passport, then the only conclusion I can come to, which is sensible, is it's this place. This concrete was laid around about 2007.
After Madeleine?
After Madeleine vanished.
Quite soon after she vanished?
About
a few weeks after Madeleine vanished?
That's correct, yes. I think this is the only place it could be, because the reality
What could be?
Madeleine could be, because it's instrumental in all the connections I've made in my own investigations.
Ken told me he contacted the authorities several times with his theory, and although they have done some searches in the vicinity, nobody has looked in this plot of land yet.
Asked on 2 occasions Why aren't you searching the property? Scotland Yard told me, Ken, we can't force them to search it. I believe this is instrumental into the Madeleine case and may have the answer.
Christian B is only the latest suspect in the Madeleine McCann case. The first was a local man, Robert Murat. He was later ruled out. Then Madeleine's parents, Kate and Jerry McCann, were accused of covering up her accidental death. They too were cleared. Another suspect was former Ocean Club employee Euclides Montero. DNA tests excluded him. 4 local men were questioned over the suspicion of a burglary that went wrong. They were eliminated. It's been at least 6 years since the German drifter Christian B was first suspected of abducting and killing Madeleine. A search of scrubland near Praia da Luz in June 2025 was a final bid by German investigators to find forensic evidence to link Christian B with Madeleine's disappearance. But it was fruitless. So, he'll be released according to the German prosecutor, now in charge of the Madeleine case.
Gibt keinen Haftbefehl in Sachen Madeleine McCann.
There's no arrest warrant in the Madeleine McCann case because in our view the evidence is not strong enough. Therefore, there's no basis for further imprisonment. For us, he's still the only suspect in the case. We continue to assume that he is responsible for her disappearance and ultimately also for her death.
The Portuguese lawyer who once defended him over diesel theft in the Algarve said Christian B will not enjoy his time as a free man.
I believe that his life is not going to be good at all. Not just because of the crimes that he committed and he had been in jail for, but also because everyone, when they see him on the street, wherever he is, they will always connect him to the case of Madeleine McCann.
I think he's a danger to society. It's going to put a lot of children and women vulnerable again. But if he turns up here, he'll certainly be watched by me, because I'll have my eyes on him 24/7. I'll be watching every movement he makes.
Mas ele disse que tinha matado.
Only Christian B knows if he killed her or not.
Portanto, ele é que sabe se matou ou não.
On our last day in Praia da Luz, we witnessed the Feast of the Holy Bath, the traditional midnight dip.
I read that running into the sea is about chasing away demons, and I wondered if there's like an analogy with chasing away the shadow of the Madeleine McCann case.
É importante, eu tenho uma consciência.
It's important to have a conscience. Be aware that during the festival, local people will certainly not remember what happened to Madeleine. Possibly those who are outsider who come to Praia da Luz remember that this is the place where she disappeared. But Maddie hasn't disappeared from our hearts, and I don't think she will.
Penso que não vai desaparecer.
Where does the police investigation go from here? Well, Christian B remains the suspect, accused but not charged, and that could go on for years. So the mystery of what happened to Madeleine McCann continues.